What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kelly Michaels TV. And in my book, Chasing Bad, and in many of my videos, I like to talk to you ladies about how to avoid men or relationship situations that will ultimately prove to be problematic. And one of the ways you ladies find yourselves caught up in a big relationship problem is when you attempt to financially provide for a man. Now, I want to put out a disclaimer. I am not talking about a situation where you got with a man who was productive when you met him and life hit like he lost his job or an unforeseen illness. I had a colleague a few years ago who told me she married a software developer. He lost his job due to COVID. He was out of work for about 9 to 10 months, and then he found himself gainfully employed once again. But she found an ambitious go-getter who already was on top of his money at the beginning. Life just hit, but that man was going to get himself back together. I'm talking about you ladies walking into these situations where the guy's money is just kind of shaky to begin with, doesn't exactly have the best work history, maybe not striving for more, and you get it in your head that you're going to take care of him, and I'm telling you, ultimately, that is a bad deal for you. So in this video, I'm going to use a few examples of some semi-famous people. You may know the situations or you may not, but they will help provide some clarity about what I'm talking about. And also, I want to segue into why it may be also problematic if you get too caught up in the looks of a man. So the first one I want to start with is a documentary that's been on Netflix called Killer Sally. And it tells the story of a woman named Sally McNeil, female bodybuilder who killed her husband, bodybuilder Ray McNeil, because she said he was physically abusing her throughout the marriage. And early on in the documentary, you keep hearing Sally talk about how good looking he was a big hunk of a man, and he was beautiful, but never says anything about him earning any money. And she married him inside of a year, another one of these whirlwind romances, and I've made videos on why that's a bad idea and how those go left a lot of time. And she didn't take the time to find out how Ray could take care of a family. And Ray apparently was broke. He had no job. He was putting all of his eggs in the basket of bodybuilding and maybe winning Mr. Olympia and, you know, all the spoils that come with that, magazine covers and commercials and so forth and so on. So because they needed money, Sally found herself out there trying to provide for the family. And she was doing things like female wrestling and making her own videos where she's sprawling around rooms with men and, you know, just to keep the lights on. And she's also providing Ray with the supplements and the steroids to pump up his career. And she wanted to take steroids too, but she had to give him the lion's share of them, and he's just out there working out while she's out there busting her behind, making sure that her and the kids can eat. And ultimately, Ray didn't even win. I think he finished 15th in the competition. So that didn't even work out, not to mention the physical abuse, and according to her, he was having affairs. So he wasn't even appreciating what she was doing. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole killing portion of the story. You can watch the documentary on your own for that. The next story I want to get into is I want you to take a look and see if you recognize this guy whose name is Adam Johnson, also known as Lectern Man. Now, Adam, let me give you his profile. At the time, living in Florida, made his way to DC to take part in the January 6th, which started off as a protest. And Adam was 36, stay-at-home dad to 5 children, wife a medical doctor, and from what I read, he had not worked in 11 years. Now, going to the protests would have been one thing, but he took the next step of going into the Capitol building, and he had the great idea to go and get that lectern. And this is what happens when men don't work. They lose their way. They have too much free time on their hand. And he's posting this picture all over social media, which is ultimately how he got caught. All right, he ended up with that nice mugshot. And you see the man in his arraignment. He just doesn't take life seriously. He shows up in his arraignment with flip-flops on and a t-shirt. Grown man can't even find a pair of shoes. It's ridiculous. And this is a guy whose wife has been taking care of him. He ultimately got 75 days in jail and a $5,000 fine, which no doubt his wife paid for that too. And if you look at Adam, I think he's a nice looking man, much like Ray McNeil's a nice looking man, but there was nothing much to them. A lot of these nice looking guys really are just not that productive. And people will look at me and say, well, Kelly, you're not that bad looking. Yeah, well, you know what? I like to say I have ugly man ambition. All right, that's just what I call it. But a lot of these guys, unfortunately, don't. All right, and it's just kind of pathetic to me that this guy, I'm not saying he's got to be a medical doctor, but he should be doing something, because apparently he's way too comfortable with not having to work and finding himself going across several states and ending up in the Capitol building. And I want to end this off talking about actress Vivica Fox, and she did an interview a couple years ago on a platform called Vlad TV, and she was saying how she also got into a marriage a little bit too quick. She didn't really take the time to know the guy, and he was cute and charming, but he wasn't really that stable. And she ended that marriage because she said, I really was not comfortable being the breadwinner. My mother did not raise me to take care of a man. And I'm gonna guess most of you women, your mother raised you in a similar fashion, not to grow up, work hard, and take care of men. So I just wanted to use this video to point out a couple of examples of what happens when you ladies feel like, you know, you can financially provide for a man. It may feel good in the beginning, but ultimately what it does is just produce men who are just shiftless and ungrateful, and that's just going to be a bad situation for you at the end of the day, I promise you. Anyway, thanks for checking out this video. The book is Chasing Bad. Links are in the description box and in the comments section as well. If you agree or disagree with anything I said, the comments section is yours. I'm Kelly Michaels. Thank you so much for checking me out. Till next time.